The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Erin Holscher. I'm the Business Development Manager here at ASTA. I'll be the organizer for today's presentation hosted by Scenic USA, titled Unveiling 2024 and Beyond with Scenic and Emerald Cruises. One lucky advisor attending live today will win a $250 gift card. That will be drawn at the end of our webinar today. Before we get started, I'd like to point out a few important features on your screen that will allow you to interact with us. We'll be answering your questions at the end of the presentation. However, please feel free to submit throughout. To ask a question, you'll use the GoToWebinar pane. Near the bottom is an area that says Questions. If you click on the arrow next to where it says Questions, it will open up a window. This is what you'll use to communicate with us. If you're having trouble hearing the presentation, please make sure your speakers are turned on, and if you called in, try hanging up and dialing back in again. You can send me any technical issues via that questions pane, and I'll try my best to answer them. I'll respond via that same window. Please also note that all audience members are muted. We certainly want to hear from you, but we have so many people on the call that the background noise would be prohibitive, and we want to ensure that everyone can listen to the entire presentation. Finally, please remember that this webinar is being recorded and available for on-demand viewing at asta.org in just a few short days. Please join me in welcoming today's presenter, Brandon Oscarson. Brandon, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Erin. I appreciate that. And thank you all for joining us today to learn more about Scenic and Emerald. So we are actually one company. We are Scenic Group, but we have two different brands. Scenic being our all-inclusive ultra luxury brand, and then Emerald, our contemporary luxury, mostly inclusive brand. And as I go through these slides and talk about how we operate, that mostly inclusive will make a lot more sense. So most people don't realize that we are actually privately owned by this gentleman here, Mr. Glenn Maroney, and his wife Karen. And we started off as a small tour operating group out of Sydney, Australia back in 1986. Well, Glenn is a very, very ambitious man. Today we have 18 river cruise vessels and 4 of the most beautiful yachts that cruise around the world. And talking about our yachts, we just launched our Scenic Eclipse 2 in August of this year, and she did very, very well with the Magellan Awards that just recently came out. We got gold for small cruise ship, luxury ship spa design, gold winner for our expedition attractions, being our Eclipse helicopter and submersible on board. And the Eclipse and Eclipse 2 have absolutely spectacular amenities on board. These are two of the most beautiful vessels on the waters today. And the first Eclipse, our Eclipse 1, launched 3 years ago in 2019 and has been in operation for the last 3, going on 4 years now. But we have won a slew of awards for the luxury and beautiful amenities that we supply on board. A common question that I am asked are, who are our target guests? Who are we looking to get on board? Who wants to travel with Scenic? Well, we're really looking at mostly empty nesters, people who their kids have gone off, they're done with college, and they have the money and the savings to have these elevated, all-inclusive experiences. And I kind of emphasize all-inclusive here because people don't want surprises at the end of their cruise when they choose to go with Scenic. They know that all of their meals, their drinks, everything, their tours, it's all taken care of. So at the end of the cruise, they're not signing for anything. What they paid for up front is what they've paid for the entire trip. Now, these are expedition discovery yachts. They do cruise all around the world. Here I just have a map with some of the destinations that we'll be cruising over the next couple of years. But let's talk about the services, the amenities, the different restaurants that we have on board these vessels. So the Eclipse and Eclipse 2 hold 228 guests maximum. There are 10 different dining venues, a spa, fitness center, 2 helicopters. We also have a submersible on board. If you're looking on the left-hand side in the middle there, that is the whiskey bar in our main lounge. Now we call it our whiskey bar because we have 135 different whiskeys from around the world to sample there. And you can try them all or you can try a few. We'll actually do what is called an around the world tasting. There are plenty of other premium spirits available on board. Matter of fact, when I was cruising in May, I saw the bartender doing a wine tasting for some of the guests that were selling. Now, one of the things I love about the bartenders on these particular vessels, they are professional mixologists. They have their own signature cocktails. They'll bring out the fire and the smoke and put on a little bit of a show for you. They also have their own signature mocktails. I know you have clients that aren't really big drinkers and they still want to be able to enjoy themselves and have fun drinks while they're traveling. We can take care of that for them. If we move our site over to the right-hand side in the middle, that is one of the balconies off of our owner suite. Our owner suites are 2,100 square feet. They are very, very spacious. We even put a spa and plenty of places to spread out and relax on your own private balcony. And then on the bottom, on the right, those are going to be some of the expedition opportunities you'll have in Antarctica with us. And then if we kind of move over to the left on the bottom, enriching moments. All of your excursions are included on a scenic yacht cruise. So we do have different types of voyages that you can take with these Eclipse vessels. You can do expedition. If you're looking to go to Antarctica, it is the best way to get over there and experience Antarctica. Maybe you want to just do something that's a little adventurous, but not quite expedition, a discovery voyage. We also cruise the Kimberley in Australia starting this summer. Or maybe you just want a standard cruise to the Mediterranean or the Caribbean. These ships cruise all around the world. So you have a lot of different types of options to cruise with Scenic. Now let's talk about our expedition voyages. When we go to Antarctica, we're only putting 200 guests on board. We're not filling the entire ship. And that's because some of the areas you go in Antarctica are capacity controlled. And we want to be able to go everywhere that our clients are coming to see in this part of the world. We have a polar discovery team of up to 20 experts. The beautiful thing about this, we also have an open bridge policy. You can walk up to the bridge, a team of experts will be there to talk about the areas we're cruising through and the wildlife you see while cruising with us through Antarctica. On top of that, they're going to do some really incredible lectures for you. You're going to Antarctica, you're going to immerse yourself with experience, but they want to immerse you in education so you understand this part of the world as well. You really get as much as you can get out of this type of trip with us. And then we also have all of your excursions, discovery taken care of, complimentary kayaks, paddle boards, and we're going to give you your own park of it. You can take home. So when your clients book a trip to Antarctica, we're going to call you and say, what size parka do they need? When they check into their room, it's going to be hanging in there ready for them to go. And then they can work their way down to the mud room to get their polar boots and anything else they need to be bundled up and ready for this part of the world. So we really do Antarctica quite differently. I've talked about the ship, how many people it holds. Now, a couple of extras that we do that is completely different. We cross the Drake's Passage in 24 hours rather than 48 hours. That means we're getting across the Drake's Passage in half the time everyone else is doing it. And I do know that you have options to fly over the Drake's Passage and not cruise it. The challenge you can run into there is if weather doesn't permit for flights, then it can delay your client's trips. With us, there are no delays. We're able to make that cruise in one day each direction. So that gives our guests who are sailing with us more time to explore this beautiful part of the world. And we have put so much amazing technology into these vessels. They are Polar Class 6 rated. They can really go anywhere and everywhere. We have oversized stabilizers. I'll talk about that a little more in just a moment, but that makes for a much more comfortable cruising experience with us. The GPS dynamic positioning is absolutely incredible. A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of protected sea bottom around the world. There are areas that you're not allowed to drop anchor, so a lot of ships can't get to those areas. Well, with us, we don't have to drop anchor. We can punch in the coordinates of where we want to be, and the ship is going to be held in place so that our guests can get off and explore some uncharted territories. There was an image that went by earlier. It was an ice shelf that the captain was able to review and make sure was safe enough for our guests to get off and explore, and we were not able to drop anchor there. And I'll talk also about our rotating azopod propulsion. We have rudderless vessels, so you don't get the vibration from the rudder. We have 4 different engines on board, and we typically operate on 2. When we hit the Drake's Passage, we turn on a 3rd, and that helps us to cross faster. And as you can see, there's also a list of a lot of other things that make for greater comfort for our guests who are cruising with us. Now, these oversized stabilizers are perfect for choppy waters. When we're on the Drake's Passage, if we're talking about 7-foot swells, stabilizers don't make a huge difference. You're going to feel that. But I'll give you an example from my personal experience. I have cruised the west coast of the United States a couple of times now. On my first cruise, those are very choppy waters. I became a little seasick. The last time I did this, I was actually on board our Eclipse. It was just this May. Those stabilizers made for such comfortable sailing, regardless of how choppy the waters were. Everybody was comfortable, and it made all the difference in the world. I did speak to the captain about our oversized stabilizers. To give you an idea of just how big they are, he said, normally you would find a stabilizer of this size on an Oasis class ship. So we've really gone all out to do everything we can to not only give you that luxury experience, but get you comfort while you're in that luxury. So some of the top 5 reasons to see Antarctica. First and foremost, this is a bucket list experience. And let's talk bucket list for just a moment here. Post the Great Shutdown, let's call it that. People don't want to wait for their bucket list anymore. People had planned their bucket list years in advance. People are taking their bucket list and checking them off right now. So this is one of those opportunities where you're not going to wait for the next 5 to 10 years to do this. You can go now, and we have availability this season and next season for your clients to join us. There is also an abundance of wildlife that is unique to this part of the world. You have a pristine environment that is pretty much untouched, absolutely stunningly beautiful. Also, if you're a photographer, be it amateur, professional, maybe you're a terrible photographer, but you love to post these great pictures you take while you're traveling, there are going to be a lot of photo ops while you're in Antarctica. And also we have incredible adventure activities. On the bottom right, I know you see these guys doing the polar plunge. There are some of you who are listening right now who would do it, and the rest of you think that we are all crazy. But it's one of those things that you can do off of our water sports platform if you are so inclined. So I do get asked quite often the difference between us and other lines. Let's just talk about what we do that is different in this part of the world. We do have the capacity of 228, but we're only bringing 200 guests into Antarctica with us. We do the peninsula as well as East Antarctica. We have 10 different dining options on board. These dining experiences are so special for a few reasons. One, we rotate our menu out every 3 days. These journeys are 15 days. If you go to the same restaurant every day for 15 days, or at the same restaurants, you're going to have different experiences while you're with us. There are some of them that are reservations required to get in for dinner, but we make sure everybody has an opportunity to dine at every restaurant while cruising with us. We have 9 separate bars and lounges. So if you want to gather together with the others on board and spend time with them, you have a lot of different places to spread out. Maybe you want some quiet space. The observation lounge is a quiet place with wine, beer, coffee, tea, big plush chairs to spread out and relax. We have a spa on board with included spa amenities. No charge to use our dipping pool, the infrared sauna, the huge rainfall shower, the loungers that we have within the spa. If you want to go sip on a glass of wine and read a book and have that beautiful spa smell and environment, there's no charge to do that. Now, you can also purchase spa treatments if you would like to. Your discovery team is taken care of. Unique with us, our helicopter and submersible are available. These are at an additional charge, but we are including your kayaks, paddleboards, and zodiacs. Here's our helicopter. So when you go to Antarctica, typically you're doing tours on the water and walking on the land. With us, you can have a bird's eye view of the icebergs and ice caps and wildlife. So again, a unique opportunity with us. Even more unique, we have our own submersible, the Neptune 1 and 2. These were custom designed for us. They hold up to 8 guests. They have this ultra clear sphere for 360-degree views. Now in Antarctica, nobody's taking submersibles down except for us. And we have discovered wildlife in this part of the world that nobody had ever found before. So we come back and we report it so that people can go back and research it. Now, before I talk about this, I want to talk about something the captain said to me about Antarctica that stood out in my mind. I thought was really neat. He said, when we arrive at a destination in Antarctica, the ship is like watching a flower blossom. It takes us 15 minutes to have your kayaks, zodiacs, paddleboard, submersible, helicopter, and all of your discovery team ready to go for our guests. So there's no waiting around or standing in line to do what you signed up for the day. And what your day is going to look like. You're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to hit the button on the wall to raise your blinds, and you're going to have some of the most beautiful scenery off of your balcony that you'll have anywhere. From there, you have your breakfast, move on to your morning briefing with the discovery team. Again, you're being immersed into this part of the world through education as well. Then you'll go grab your parka, get warm, head down to the mud room, get your polar boots on. By the time you're bundled up and ready to explore, everybody is there waiting for you. Here's one of our itineraries that we offer for Antarctica, 15 days beyond the Antarctic Circle. Now, what's really neat about this, when you cross the Antarctica Circle, you're going to join an elite group of people who have not only been to Antarctica, but you ventured into a region that is seldomly visited. So if you're one of those travelers that like some bragging rights, you're going to gain some while you do an itinerary like this. And this is a very popular itinerary for Antarctica for us, 15-day Antarctica in the Weddell Sea. I hope I pronounced that right. This is Buenos Aires to Buenos Aires. The reason this one is so popular is we get to see the emperor penguins on this journey. I know some of you have booked your clients on trips to Antarctica in the past, and they came back and they're like, oh yeah, we didn't see the emperor penguins, because not everybody gets out to those regions where they exist. Well, on this itinerary with us, we're going to go a little bit further, expand where we're visiting, and take our clients to see those emperor penguins, along with a lot of other beautiful places during their journey. We are so excited about this, that we start this coming summer in 2024. We are going to the Kimberley in Australia. Here you're going to find natural phenomena that you will not see anywhere else in the world. On the right-hand side, this is referred to as the horizontal fall. As the changing of the tide squeezes through that narrow gorge, it looks like a waterfall turns on its side. We also visit Montgomery Reef, and in this region, you're also going to see a lot of dinosaur fossils and footprints. Some of the other main reasons people want to see this part of the world, you have Twin Falls at King George River. You can, with us, fly over part of the land and the water. You have Ashmore Reef You are visiting some of the most rugged and beautiful coastline in all of Australia, and you have the horizontal falls. Now, one thing I will bring up about the Kimberley, the only way to get here is on a ship or a Zodiac. Well, we have a ship with the Zodiac, with lots of Zodiacs, helicopters, and the submersible. A lot of areas around the Kimberley are only accessible via helicopter. So we bring some really amazing and unique opportunities. Again, the word unique comes up quite a bit. With our helicopter program, we can go to remote communities within the Kimberley that you really can't visit any other way. We have exclusive helicopter programs for this part of the world. And for your clients who are the avid fishers, we can go heli fishing at the Barramundi River. This is a river that is only accessible via helicopter, and people love to fly out there to go fishing. Here's a map that just gives you an idea of the itinerary for the Kimberley. This is our 11-day Discover the Kimberley Coastline and Ancient Wilderness. We have 12 departures between May and August of next year, moving between Broome and Darwin. Something that makes this so special, and I mean, we're going way back in time, more than a few thousand million years ago, the Kimberley was actually its own land. It was detached from the rest of Australia. Well, obviously, as the world has changed, it's all together. It's part of Australia. But now you have a very deep-rooted Aboriginal legacy, the most pristine islands you're going to find anywhere, and the oldest rock art in the world can be discovered right here in the Kimberley. Okay, we are moving from our Eclipse and Eclipse 2 into our Scenic River Cruise vessels. Now, we call our river cruise vessels in Europe our spaceships, because we offer the luxury of space on board. These vessels max out at 160 guests. Now, we do have our ship on the Seine River, cruising Paris and Normandy. It only holds 124 guests. That is because it was specially designed to cruise all the way out to Honfleur. So for those of you familiar with that itinerary, you know that everybody else stops in Tournon. You have a 2-hour motor coach ride to get to the Normandy beaches. With us, we are cruising all the way out to the Normandy beaches, keep giving our clients more time at the Normandy beaches, less time on motor coaches. But the rest of our ships throughout Europe, you're looking at about 160 guests maximum. Now, we have been selling for the past 15 years, and over those years, we have been very, very highly rated, pulling in a slew of awards. Just at a glance, here's some of them that we have won since we have been in business. Now let's talk about what we do on board and what is different. So I will share, I just came back from Bordeaux. I've been home a week and a day today. Actually, you know what? I got home so late on Tuesday, I'm going to call today 1 week. I cruised in Bordeaux on our Scenic Diamond. Actually, the two gentlemen on the bottom right there are the captains of the Scenic Diamond. You have Captain Sebastian and Sebastian. They are father and son. The son is the main captain of the ship, and I will tell you, they created an amazing cruising experience. This was my 13th river cruise, and I will share this was one of the best river cruise experiences that I have ever had. This region was stunning. Obviously, the wines were divine. What we served on board was phenomenal. We really do things on a whole other level. We also have butler service available on our vessels. This is going to be for river and our yachts. There's butler service for every category stateroom. Our butlers will bring room service to you. They will also do complimentary laundry for our guests who are traveling with us. For our dining experience, we serve foods from the region that we are cruising through with your lunch and dinner. People love to taste the cultures of the places they're visiting, so we want to do that with their dining as well as the wines from the regions that we are cruising through. If we move our way over to the right in the center there, you'll see one of our beautifully appointed suites. And I say suites because on a scenic river cruise vessel, from the top to the bottom, they are a suite because of everything that is offered within them. What I love about our suites, is the one we're looking at now is about 205 to 225 square feet. That is your average size stateroom. And we have a sun lounge. Rather than putting a veranda that will take out part of your stateroom, we give you a sun lounge with a window that drops halfway down to give you that nice open air experience within your stateroom and keeping all of that space inside. If we move down to the bottom left, we have some really neat amenities on board. This would be our salt therapy lounge. You have a wall made out of Himalayan sea salt. When you walk in, the floor is covered in Himalayan sea salt. You have microscopic salt particles floating through the air. You can go in here for 15 to 20 minutes, read a book, close your eyes, and open up your airways. This is so good for you. We also have a spa and a fitness center for our guests who want to stay fit and active while they travel. If we move over just a little, you'll see that we have e-bikes on board. I just came off a cruise, and I will tell you the e-bikes were the most popular excursions that we offered. Everybody wanted to get on those e-bikes. They are so much fun, and it's easy to ride in Europe because along the riverways, everything is flat and open. All right, so we do cruise all over Europe. The most popular river in Europe for cruising, especially for first-time cruisers, it's going to be the Danube, the upper Danube. We're talking Nuremberg to Budapest. The lower Danube is more popular for people who have been around Europe. They've traveled and they've explored and they want some unique places to visit. The lower Danube offers beautiful and wonderful itineraries as well. And to just give you an idea of some of our Danube itineraries, we do cruise Nuremberg to Budapest. This is our 8-day Gems of the Danube. Something I want to point out on this image here. This is our Scenic Enrich excursion. Every river is going to have a Scenic Enrich experience. In Vienna, we go to the Palace Liechtenstein and enjoy a private classical Viennese concert with opera singers and ballet dancers. When I was in Bordeaux, we went to a private chateau and we were able to experience a quartet and sample their local wines and champagne. So every river offers a Scenic Enrich experience. On this particular one, it is the Viennese concert. Oh, talking about Bordeaux. This, again, was a very special itinerary. You are cruising the Garonne and Dordogne rivers, so you have two different rivers that you're cruising. What's unique about this is you're so close to the coastline that the river is tidal. There are certain times of the day that they have to untie because the water changes levels. But you have some of the most amazing wines in the world right here in Bordeaux. So if you're a wine connoisseur or a wino, take your pick. This is going to be an incredible experience. The dining on board was absolutely phenomenal. Again, having cuisine from the regions we're cruising through. They even did an oyster tasting on board in the lounge for everybody, second to last day, that was very, very well received. So to summarize Scenic before I move into Emerald, there's a few things that I like to point out. So we have a standard 2-for-1 fare on all of our cruises. With our yacht and river, you're going to have butler service, choice of shore excursions, multiple dining options. You have your Scenic Enrich exclusive events, premium beverages and Wi-Fi, gratuities. All of these things are included, as well as your round-trip airport transfers. We also offer complimentary round-trip air. This is our pay-in-full offer. If you pay in full within 10 months of the cruise, you can take advantage of free air or other richer promotions, depending on what your client's needs are. All right, we are moving into Emerald. This is our contemporary luxury brand. We have our Azora and Sakara here. These are our super yachts. They have 50 staterooms. They only hold 100 guests. They are our warm water destination vessels. And again, just this year, the Azora won small cruise ship gold with Magellan. So these ships continue to win so many awards because it's such an incredible and elevated experience. Now for our Emerald brand, our demographics are just a little bit different. We're kind of moving into the Gen Xers, the couples that are 45 plus, that have the money to go on these elevated vacations, that like something that is mostly inclusive, but they don't really need something to be all inclusive. And again, I did say mostly inclusive, and I'm going to talk about that and what that means in just a moment here. But to just give you an idea, when I say warm water destinations, we're talking the Mediterranean, Adriatic, Red Sea, Indian Ocean. We even cruise all the way through the Panama Canal. So if you have clients who've been looking to do the Panama Canal, what a unique and beautiful way to do it. The amenities on board are absolutely spectacular. Let's start on the upper left with our aqua pool and cafe. We do have a negative edge pool at the aft of the ship and a nice little cafe to serve food and drinks for our guests who are there enjoying the pool. We offer spa services. If our guests want to get a massage while they're cruising with us, we can take care of that. We also have a fitness center on board. Our Amici Bar and Lounge is where you're going to go for your cruise manager discussions and to get to know the other guests on board. Our dining is absolutely spectacular. We do have an a la carte menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but with breakfast and lunch, we're going to have one of the most beautiful and amazing buffets you'll find anywhere available as well. And I did say warm water destinations. If you move your eyes to the bottom right, that's our La Cucina Terrace. You can dine outdoors with some of the most beautiful scenery in the world in warm weather. Now, we do have the observation lounge. It's a quiet place to spread out and relax, as well as our sky bar up on the observation deck. This is where you can go, the sky deck. You can go for beautiful views within 360 degrees of just a few steps in any direction. And I know you're looking at the marina toys and that marina platform. Well, I actually have a better image that talks about that. Now, all of this is included with your cruise. We have the marina platform. The ship itself is part of the destination. We're going to these warm waters. You have floating platforms, paddle boards, kayaks. We even have 3 sea bobs available, as well as an aquaglide trampoline, floating mats, and snorkeling gear. If you want to snorkel right off the aft of the ship, you can do it right there with our staff to take care of you and serve you a drink as you step right back onto the ship. Here's one of our amazing itineraries that we have in the Caribbean this year. What better way to see the beauty of the Caribbean than island hopping from one stunning island to the next in contemporary luxury? From the white sand beaches of Puerto Rico to the azure waters of Esperanza Bay. And one of the things that stood out to me about this itinerary, we also go to a bioluminescent bay as we explore. Now, these yachts only hold 100 guests. They are small. We are not going to the big ports that all of the large ships are going to. We're going to more intimate destinations. We're going to ports where thousands and thousands of people aren't spilling off each day to explore. So you get to have an intimate cruising experience as well as intimate experiences on land. So when I say that Emerald is inclusive enough, here's what I mean. So you have your complimentary soda, beer, and wine with lunch and dinner. You're going to have all of your meals taken care of, complimentary Wi-Fi. On a 7-night cruise with one of our Emerald yachts, you're going to have 3 to 4 included excursions. And then there are going to be a multitude of excursions you can purchase if you would like to. Airport transfers are included on the day of embarkation and disembarkation. We have packed so much value into this. We do have a drink package. May of next year, we will be going all-inclusive with the drinks, but that's a little ways out. But we do have a drink package for now. We also offer free air. So there is so much value, and we do also have a standard 2-for-1 fare with our Emerald cruises. Shifting over from our yachts to our river cruise vessels, we call these our starships. Again, these are so beautiful. I remember when they hit the waters, I was working for a different company, and I was looking online at these beautiful brand new ships. And I was blown away by the decor on board. The pool at the aft of the ship that turns into a cinema in the evening. They raise the bottom of the pool, they dry it up, and they actually turn it into a cinema. So if you're cruising the Danube and you want to watch The Sound of Music, not in your room, but with some of the other guests on board, you can do that in our cinema. We'll also have some new released films available as well. Now, our starships hold a maximum of 180 guests, but we've given so much space with this many guests on board and amenities. There's a spa, a salon, and a fitness center on board. And your average stateroom is between 160 to 180 square feet. If you look on the upper right-hand side, you'll see one of our staterooms with a sun lounge. Again, we're going with the sun lounge rather than an actual veranda. This way, all of that space stays in your stateroom. And when you drop that window down, you still get that nice open air experience. Along with the amenities on board, we have the tic-tac-toe up on the sun deck. If our guests want to go up and play a game, it's open to anybody, anytime. Now, the dining, again, is going to be cuisine from the regions we're cruising through, allowing our guests to taste the cultures of the places that they're visiting. Complimentary soda, beer, and wine with lunch and dinner, then coffee, specialty coffee drinks, tea, bottled water are all included with the cruise. And just a map of the places that our Emerald vessels cruise around Europe. And again, one of the more popular places to cruise in Europe is going to be the Danube. You get so many countries in one cruise: Hungary, Slovakia, Austria, and Germany. And if you add a pre or post in Prague, you can get 5 countries in one cruise. This particular itinerary offers a pre or post in Munich. And some of the highlights of this trip are going to be Budapest, Vienna, and Bratislava. People don't think about Bratislava when they go on a river cruise, but after they've been there, it's one of those hidden gems along the way. A melting pot of cultures, beautiful streets, great shops and dining as you walk through the town. And Emerald, we also have our Sensations of Lyon and Provence. This is one of my favorite rivers that I have ever cruised. I love southern France, the wines, the Syrahs, the rich Roman history. Van Gogh was deeply inspired by this part of France. Arles has its own Colosseum, Lyon being the gastronomical capital of France with unrivaled dining experiences on land. We also do a little cruise up the Saône River, which is less traveled, and this is where you'll find the Beaujolais region of France. So if you love those Beaujolais wines, this is a great itinerary as well. So again, summarizing everything included with your Emerald cruise: your meals, the cuisine from the regions you're cruising through, wine and beer with your lunch and dinner, gratuities for your staff and your tour guides, Wi-Fi. You're going to have an included excursion at every port that we stop at. And then there are going to be some optional excursions you can purchase if you would like to do something different, but every port is going to have something included. We are including your airport transfers on embarkation and disembarkation day, and we have free air. These, again, have a standard 2-for-1 fare. So we have packed a lot of value into the cost of these trips. But we still have time if you're thinking about taking out a group with us. Our Epic group savings has been extended until October 31st. So if you'd like to take out a group with us, it's very easy, no deposit required. A group consists of 10 guests. So for every 9 full paying, you earn 1 tour conductor credit. And we have up to $750 off per person on select river cruises. Now, July and August of 24, Scenic is going to be a $750 per person savings. On Emerald, it is going to be a $500 per person savings. All of our other river cruises throughout Europe and Southeast Asia are going to be a $400 per person savings on Scenic or $250 per person savings on Emerald departures. And we are still in National Plan a Cruise Month. Now, we have some incredible prizes. You complete our Agent Academy, which you still have time to do, and you're entering yourself to win one of these 4 free cruises. Now, each week we have had a theme to focus on. We are in that last week. We are focused on Europe, the Rhine, the Main, and the Danube. For more information, definitely reach out to myself or your local regional sales director to assist you. So here at Scenic Group, we have worked diligently to become incredible partners in travel for you. We want to be the best supplier that we can be. We have this amazing and diverse portfolio with our river and our yachts, allowing your guests to cruise really anywhere they want to go around the world. We have a team of dedicated professionals here in the US within our office and out in the field to make sure working with us is easy and that all of your questions are answered in a timely manner. We are constantly working to improve how we operate so that we can truly be the best partners in travel for you, because you make everything matter for us. Having you support us and work with us is how we are able to keep doing what we do. Here we have a map of myself and my colleagues. Don't worry, I'll give you a little QR code here to scan in a moment so that you can get everybody's contact information that you may need. Just a couple more things here. We do have a lot of tools to help you promote our product. We have our Travel Advisor portal as well as our YouTube channel. Through both of these, you're going to find a lot of incredible materials to help you promote what you're doing. And if you take out group space with us, make sure you get those Scenic and Emerald branded group flyers. We've even developed this beautiful MICE brochure to help you for your charters and incentives. And I strongly encourage you to connect with your regional sales director for live events. We love getting in front of your clients and getting them excited about their next travel opportunities. And we do have a PDF with Travel Advisor resources. Again, I'm going to give you a QR code here in a moment where you can go to access this, which gives you quick links for images, flyers, and details on promotions for everything you may need. And the QR code, questions. Okay, that is everything. I am going to put this back up. And Erin, I'm going to turn it back over to you to see if we have any questions.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we do have some phenomenal questions, but I just want to, again, shout out a huge thank you to you as partners here. Scenic and Emerald are great supporters of ASTA. And just, I know we've got so much excitement in the chat just with general questions, but just a lot of oohs and ahs. And I think we've got a lot of advisors that are really looking forward to 2024 for their clients and some of these amazing opportunities to sail. So I've done my best to kind of organize. I know we went multiple regions. So starting off with Antarctica, how far in advance do reservations open up and fill up for those Antarctica sailings?
So we are open for the 25 and 26 season of Antarctica right now. So we're open pretty far out. There's still space available for this season, the 23-24 season. So it does fill up. You're going to have some limited availability if you're booking a little last minute. But the beautiful thing about cruising today is there's still availability for last minute bookings.
Excellent. Great to hear. So now with Antarctica, is it a limited window of what months you can sail?
You're looking at November through March. Funny enough, Antarctica has its own seasons. And the only time you can really cruise there is November through March. And for anybody who's looking to travel this part of the world, do some research on what you would see through the different seasons in Antarctica to make sure you select the one that makes the most sense for you.
Excellent. Now, can those helicopter and submarine experiences be booked on ship, or do they need to be booked in advance?
Those can only be booked on board. That's done through our concierge at the front desk.
Excellent. And how deep do those submarines go? Do you have an approximate idea?
About 200 meters. We're definitely not looking for the Titanic.
Okay. Now, transitioning over into the Kimberley, are there different levels of drinks included with that on board, or is it all drinks, or is it something where it's just the beverage package with the meals included?
So with Scenic, everything. On the Scenic Eclipse, so I'm not a big drinker, but I like a good Manhattan with a nice bourbon in it. They pulled down a bottle of Eagle Rare. For anybody who's familiar with bourbons knows that is a phenomenal, very, very high-end top shelf spirit. So that's included. There's no extra charge for that.
Fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, with the Kimberley, can you provide a little more details about the fishing excursion, the advisor asked?
So I had to go onto YouTube to learn about this, and I was calling it barramundi, but it's Australian. It's barramundi. You can only get there through a helicopter, and there are huge fish in this river. So you know the helicopter lands, it shuts down, and the guests who've taken this excursion go off with a professional guide who's going to bring all the gear and everything they need, and they'll get to spend an afternoon fishing out of the Barramundi River, pulling these huge fish out. I don't believe you can take these back to the ship. I'm pretty sure this is just catch and release.
Got it. So then looking into Europe, are the e-bikes included at no charge on the river sailings?
No charge for the e-bikes. They are included.
Excellent. And is there flexibility for, I mean, is that a structured outing, or can clients take those out kind of at their leisure, or how do those e-bikes work?
Both. We will put them out. So if we have a tour booked and they're all booked up, then they go on the tour. But there are plenty of places we stop where the bikes are available. And if somebody wants to go out and cruise around town, they can do that.
Excellent. Now, the advisor, can you please restate the free air promotion that is currently running? How do I utilize that?
So the free air promotion is ongoing. So with Scenic and Emerald, we don't actually require payment in full until 120 days before the sailing. However, we do have some amazing promotions. If somebody has a cruise that's more than 10 months out and they make that payment in full outside of those 10 months, they open up a list of new types of promotions for that booking. One of those, and being the most popular, is our free air. So as long as you pay in full outside of 10 months, you're going to have that free air promo offered to you. Now, if your clients like to do their own air, they have miles, they do things on their own, they don't have to worry about the air promo. We have other offers, maybe $1,000 per person savings off of the selling. It just depends on what the client needs, but the free air is very popular.
Fantastic. So now, are there back-to-back sailing options when in Europe, or what's my best way to book that for my client?
There's always back-to-back sailings. Sometimes it does require a little legwork on our end and your end to match them up if it's not pre-planned. But since we're an Australian owner, we do things a little differently. We have 8-day, 11-day, 14-day, 21-day sailings because Australians take very long vacations. So the structure of our cruises is a little different. If you're looking for one of those extended river cruises, call and let one of our amazing reservation team assist you in putting that together.
Excellent. Now, is there much rocking of the ship on the European rivers?
No rocking. They're flat bottom boats pointed up or downstream. There's no rocking on a river cruise.
We've had a couple of comments about the Christmas market cruises, so I'm going to kind of try and combine some questions here. So do the Christmas markets sail on all rivers, and what is the time window that those Christmas markets deploy?
So the time frame for Christmas markets, they open roughly around Thanksgiving, our time. And majority of them close on December 23rd. There are some of them that stay open past that, but really your prime cruise time for Christmas markets is about November 25th, roughly, till about December 23rd. Now, the only rivers you're really going to get markets on are going to be the Rhine or the Danube. That is where you're going to see most of the Christmas markets. And what's really neat about either of those, especially the Danube, in Prague and Budapest, Christmas markets are not part of their history. But river cruising has brought so much business to tourism that they now have some of the highest rated Christmas markets in all of Europe.
Excellent. Nope, that's phenomenal information. So this just hopped in here with a question as well that I'm going to just go at. So are there any other themed cruise experiences like the Christmas market cruises that advisors should be aware of outside of the, outside of that November to December window? Are there any other themed ones, is I think what the advisor was asking.
So we do themed cruises. We have wine themed cruises. The cruise I did in Bordeaux, Chef Raymond Blanc came on board the last few days and did cooking demonstrations. He handed out books to all of us. He did a questionnaire. He signed our books. So we had kind of a culinary themed cruise for the one I just came off of. So yes, we do have different themed cruises. I would say if you're looking for something like that, or you can bring a themed group or something to us, reach out to your regional sales director and we'll help you put it together.
Excellent. And I think you just kind of walked right into the next question that I had teed up. So are there on-ship experiences during the sailings if we choose not to go into port or in the downtime of sailing?
I mean, if you're hanging out on the ship in the daytime, there's really not a lot going on. It's quiet time, it's downtime. You can relax, you can have a bite to eat, you can sip on a glass of wine or a cup of coffee. You can walk into port on your own and explore on your own if you would like to. One of the beauties of river cruising is you're right there. You can be in the heart of town within 2 to 15 minutes, depending on where you're cruising.
Excellent. So now we're getting into a few marketing and business development questions here. So how do I access any specific Scenic Emerald marketing resources?
You're going to go to, on our website, it still says Travel Agent Portal on the upper right-hand side. And this QR code, if you scan it, will give you access to that PDF I showed you with links to everything that we have available.
Excellent. Okay. And this is, I'm going to kind of paraphrase this question, but the advisor was asking about connecting with their local BDM. And I know that you provided those resources, but what other than connecting with their local BDM, are there local events that they can get in with? Are there hosted evenings? Or I guess the question was, what resources should I be accessing to better connect?
You want to work with your local regional sales director. We all do different types of events. I just a couple of months ago had an event down in Atlanta where I had about 20 different advisors, all from different agencies, that came out to have a nice dinner with me and learn more about Scenic and Emerald. So you really need to connect with your local person to see what they have going on. Maybe you want to join something they have in place, or maybe you want to put something together with them.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, that concludes our assortment of questions for today's webinar. What I would like to state to all advisors as well is if we weren't able to get to your question today, I will be sharing those with Brandon to be able to connect with his team and possibly follow up with you to go on with those details moving forward. But the next step that I'd like to take is that very generous prize offer here. So again, one lucky advisor attending live will win a $250 gift card today, courtesy of our partners with Scenic and Emerald Cruises. So drum roll, please. So our winner today is going to be Tom Rich. So Tom, congratulations. I'll be sharing your contact information with Brandon, and he'll be following up with you to get that prize over for you. So as I mentioned, this webinar was recorded. So we encourage you to listen to the presentation again, keep up with all of this fantastic information. It'll be available to ASTA members on asta.org in just a few short days. Thank you again to our partners with Scenic and Emerald Cruises for taking the time to share this information, for all of your support of ASTA and the travel advisor community. And thank you to all of you who have joined us for today's webinar with this great information. This will conclude today's presentation. Brandon, anything to add to send us out?
No, I just want to thank all of you for your time today. And Erin, thank you so much for coordinating this. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you at our next event.